Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Just Listen to One podcast. I want to apologize quick on missing last week on Wednesday. I am planning on posting two, so for you guys to make it up for missing it. So in this podcast, I want to talk about animals and pets and whatnot, and just memory lane throughout my childhood up to now. Regardless, if you hear a dog, hi. What the animal that you hear is my dog currently. His name is North. So I'm sorry if you hear him in the background. I want to talk about my childhood pets and my experience with other animals and so on. So I am just gonna overall just start from the beginning. I am going to talk about my childhood pets from since the day I was born all the way up to, I want to say, about 17, maybe 18 tops. So over my 17 years of living, I have had, like, family pet wise, I've had I'll just list them off. I've had one cat. Her name was Gracie. I had and I'm going to do it in order so you know. So I had a cat named Gracie. I had a dog named Jack while still having Gracie, the cat. And then when Jack died, we ended up having another dog named Neo. And for a short period of time while having Neo, we did have another dog named Nell, but we ended up had to rehome her because it ended up getting too overwhelming, per se, for a family to have two dogs and a cat. So we rehomed her to a better family, per se. I'm assuming it was a family. So after a while, up to a point when Neo died, we ended up having another dog named Irie, still having our cat for a little while, and up to, I want to say 2013 or 2014, our cat Gracie passed away. And then within a couple years, I want to say, then Irie passed away. And then didn't have any pets for a while. And then that was up to that. So within, I want to say, up to 14 years of my life, we've had one cat and about 4 dogs within 14 years of my life. But all the dogs we adopted from a dog shelter, so we never really knew exactly how old they were. So, little, like, side note also, I don't think they even know. They kind of guessed roughly how old they were from teeth and little things like that, and just kind of like they will be roughly from this to this age kind of thing. So that's why we had like that many pets within 13, 14 years of at least my life. So that's how many pets that wise. But when my parents split up in, I want to say, the beginning of 2011, it kind of changed a little bit. So it kind of depends on how you think about it when two parents split up kind of situation on if you want to count it or not. My dad, he ended up getting in 2012 when he bought the house he bought after a year, within like 6 months of living there, I want to say, give or take. He ended up got a dog, and his name, and he's still alive today. His name is Buddha. And regardless of that is kind of all my like childhood pets that I forgot one pet. I also had, when I was about 3, I've also had a hamster, and I've had him for about 2 years. And I named him Boy because the gender he was a boy. So that's kind of like my little kid brain and whatnot. I think that's all of them that I can think of. I believe, at least as far as my memory goes. I could be wrong, but I know those are the for sure animals that I or family has had growing up within the first 17 years of my life as a minor. But ever since I turned 18 up to now, as of right now when I'm recording this podcast, I'm 22. I'll be 23 March 20th of 2023. So just want to like put that out there. But like with me personally having my own pet that I'm totally responsible of and not my parents, I've had a total of 2 pets since I turned 18 up to now. And one of them is a dog. And his name is North. And I got him in 2020 during COVID. He is 2 years old. His birthday is August 13th, 2020, and I didn't officially have him until October, when he is at that age that he can be separated from his parents. So I've had him practically for the most part since he was born. So ever since he was about, if I'm doing the math right, 3 months old roughly, give or take. And then this past year of 2022, we, as in my man and I, we ended up getting a cat, but we had to rehome him because he had some signs of he might be allergic to cats, but he never gotten tested, so it's not sure. But we just was safe than sorry, and rehomed him. His name, at least when we had him, his name is Pete, but I don't know with the family who does have him, I don't know if they've renamed it or not, if we're being completely honest. But he was born this past year. I think he was born in May 16th of this year, I believe. if I remember this right. But so as of right now, we, when I say I at this point, I also count my man. So when I say I mean also him too. So you guys know. I currently, as of right now, I just have a dog. Like I said, his name is North, and he is a Husky Shepherd mix, and he's such a great dog. I have no idea what I would do without him since I got him. He is literally my best friend. So, yeah, so that is overall my childhood and current pet experience I've had. I want to say from my memory, if we're completely honest, there might have been more other that I haven't listed, but when I was like a toddler, like within the first like couple years of my life that I don't know of, but I just go off of from my memory and what I can recall and whatnot, like, but my mom does have a pet, which I'm not going to get into that just because it's not my pet, if that makes any sense. Yeah. So I think that's all the pets that family pets / I have or have had throughout my life that I can remember at least. But I've had per se experience like other people's pets. Rather, it's like other family members, or for example, if I was on a trip and I've rode a horse, like little things like that, and whatnot. I've had this family member is still alive, but when growing up, I have at that point in time, she doesn't have them at the moment because over time, pets pass away, but I've had a family member who had goats, and I remembered whenever I went to that family member's house, I see them and whatnot. And I thought that was pretty cool growing up. I've also, and they also have had dogs and when I was growing up, and birds, and I thought that was really cool. I know, I'm working, hold on. I've also had another family member have had a couple dogs also, and also I have another family member who has a turtle, and I thought that's pretty cool. I believe they still have the turtle as far as I know, and also they also have a couple dogs and just like cool animals like that. I find it like pretty, like growing up I thought like, holy crap, that's so effing awesome, oh, kind of thing. I'm just trying to think of like at least with my family and whatnot. I've had most, if not all, of my family members has had a cat or a dog or both for sure, depending on which, person or person or whatnot has had, for sure. And some of them have like unique animals per se, like goats or birds or turtles, like cool animals like that like on average most people, at least my point of view, not that many families would have that kind of animals, at least at that point of time, at least in my opinion. At least I didn't know anybody except for my family growing up have had those kind of unique animals. But nowadays it's a lot of people who have those kind of animals nowadays, it seems like, at least in my opinion. But that's kind of my memory of like childhood pets / memories I've had, rather it's with my family or other family members have had when I was growing up as a kid. So I remembered when I was a kid, I also like when I was at camp when I was a kid, you get to like sign up to like go out of the property per se and go to an event, like to be able to like ride a horse or do other things like that you have to go to out of the campsite per se. And I remember a couple of years when I went to that camp, my mom signed me. I told my mom, like, I want to go horseback riding. So she did that a couple times. My first couple times of going to that camp, she did that, and I loved it. And I had a great time and whatnot. And I have rode horses after that too. Rather it's at like at a vacation. I remember in 2013, we as in my sister, like practically my family except for my mom. So that'll be like my sister, my dad, and I. We and my dad's girlfriend at the time. I'm keeping names out of it, but kind of give you a little picture too. We went to North and South Carolina and Georgia, and one of those two places, I want to say South Carolina, I want to say, that we rode horses, went horseback riding, and I had fun with that. And I remembered when my sister was at a friend's birthday party or whatever, and like their families can come with, and they have like lots of animals because they lived on a farm. So I remembered I rode one of their horses, and that was fun, and played with chickens there and whatnot, and that was fun as a kid. I'm just trying to think of like other experience I have had or been around and whatnot. Like I know I've been around like other animals and whatnot other than like families. Like whenever there's a fair going on, I always go and check out animals there. But actually had like one-on-one time with animals is kind of what I'm kind of going off of. So I think, for my memory, I think that is all that I can remember, if we're completely honest. I want to say that is all I can think of at the moment, but if I did forget anything, I am sorry. I'm just going off of my memory and whatnot, and this is kind of like, I've kind of put myself on the spot here, so on this podcast. So, yeah, I'm gonna end the podcast here. I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast, and if you did, let me know in the comments below. Share any of my podcasts to any of your friends or family members who might be interested in this podcast. So if you guys enjoyed this podcast, please let me know by liking this podcast and subscribing to this podcast. I would highly appreciate it. And I will see you next Wednesday, or my next podcast that's going to come up on here today. So I will see you next week. Bye.